Oh my god. The Starkiller 2000? That sounds awesome! This thing is gonna carry me for the whole game. Hey, you! Yeah, what's up? Check this out! Hello Bloombers and welcome to court, because I am suing Pearlescents for false advertising. I was led astray by a super cool looking rarity and an epic name, and that got me killed. So right after I got better, I jumped to court to make sure that this never happens again. So let's set the stage for my case. Borderlands 2 is the game that popularized the looter-shooter genre. And so it has all the classics, like builds, grinding, scummy monetization, and of course, lots of loot. Said loot is divided in the classic rarity hierarchy: common, uncommons, rares, epics, and legendary, where legendaries are flashy and OP, and commons get you a fine for public littering. But things don't stop there in Borderlands 2. There are 3 more rarities above legendaries, which all share the prestige of the special rarity title, and they are Effervescence, Seraphs, and Pearlescents. Now, of course, with being put so far above everything else come expectations, both of performance and actual rarity. Since, you know, to be a special rarity, you should be especially hard and especially rewarding to find. And while the merits of the other two are somewhat debatable, Pearlescents, aka Pearls, fail so spectacularly to meet the expectations set for them that it completely overshadows the other two. And now with the stage set, let's look at Exhibit A, the history of Pearls. Back in the day of Borderlands 1, Pearls were a rare drop from the game's hardest and only raid boss, Chromarax, shown here being killed in the lore-accurate way. And as someone who has never farmed for them, or even really used them, I can tell you that Pearls in 1 were pretty good, or alright, or okay, maybe. What I can tell you is that they were iconic, and so obviously they were brought back in the form of a DLC. However, now instead of dropping from raid bosses, they drop from a rare enemy type named Tubbies. And while the drop chance is higher in Borderlands 2, what's supposed to make them rare is that Tubbies are complicated rare. As in, I don't really get it that much, and it sure isn't super interesting, so just take me at face value. Now, clearly Pearls are rare, so they have 1/2 of the requirements done. And considering what video this is, that isn't very promising for the performance. Let's check out Exhibit B for Becca and Butcher. Starting with the Becca, this is a really solid assault rifle. Worryingly for my credibility. It shoots a bullet that shoots 3 other bullets, each able to receive full bonuses from shield not appearing in this video. Combine that with a critical damage bonus and a lack of the incomprehensible 20% crit damage debuff that literally every assault rifle other than Jacob's ones suffer from, and you get an actually good assault rifle, which makes it perfect for Axton. As you could see here, unfortunately all the 4 Axton mains have a really high appearance fee, which did not fit into the budget of this video, so all you get is this image and me saying it's supposed to be good, which you probably shouldn't take at face value. Fortunately, you won't be needing to take any faces and value them for this next one, since the appearance fee for Salvador, the best character for the Butcher, is a single slightly used potato chip, which means I can showcase how well they work together, because the Butcher's ability is whenever it's shot, there's a chance for it to add 2 bullets to the mag instead of using 1. And when you combine it with Salvador's ammo skills, you can basically tape down the trigger. Even if it may come at a small permanent hearing damage cost, this is awesome! Thankfully, I don't have ears, so I can do it without the hearing damage. Which means I can hear you say, "Vinci, you said that things weren't looking very promising for the performance, but these 2 guns seem pretty good. You wouldn't lie to me, would you?" First of all, yes I would if it's funny. And second of all, why are you saying this? This is a video, I can't hear you. And now everyone is looking at you, Greg. Nonetheless, you would be correct, Gregory. It is odd that I would say that pearls suck and then present two great examples to the contrary. Well, it's quite simple. These aren't examples. These are the only two good pearls. Yeah, out of 12 weapons, 2 of them are good. The rest range from the most mid things possible to Exhibit 3, the Wanderlust. Pretty widely considered one of the worst weapons in the game, and yet sitting in the supposed highest rarity in the game. So let's do a little dumpster diving and find out why it sucks so bad. Now you might notice the lack of extreme gaming skill I always showcase. But fret not, I have not been replaced by a less skilled imposter. They're actually pretty good. The problem is what the gun calls its homing bullets. But clearly I have my definitions wrong, because instead of home in on the enemy, they go home to their bullet partner and live a long, happy bullet life. Because they cannot be trying to hit my enemies. Even when they, by pure accident it seems, hit an enemy, it sure isn't the one I wanted, and it sure doesn't deal any damage. The only redeeming quality is that it looks pretty good and it's very unique, though it's not hard to be unique and terrible. I mean, you can just make a gun with a huge debuff that makes it nigh on unusable, and that's gonna be unique and terrible. Unfortunately, the developers acted on this logic and created the Unforgiven. Right joke about not forgiving them here. Also do the lawn. The Unforgiven's supposed special ability is a 75% damage boost to critical hits, which is already a huge letdown for such a high rarity gun, but if it was just that, it would at least be a cool Jacob's revolver at a high rarity, which is what you have been looking at. Because for some reason, they decided to ruin what makes Jacob's revolvers fun by capping the fire rate. Basically, Jacob's guns in Borderlands 2 can be fired as fast as you can click, which as a former entity who was maybe decent at Minecraft 1.8 PvP is quite fast. And as someone who has an auto-clicker macro, it's even faster. All this is really fun and cool, right? Yeah, so why does the highest rarity Jacob's revolver have a capped fire rate? And before you ask, no, the damage does not make up for it. So while the Wanderlust is a worse weapon because you can't even hit the enemy you want 99% of the time, the Unforgiven is far more baffling. It feels designed to be bad. Honestly, both of these guns aren't even worth the ammo they shoot. Which reminds me, there's one pearl which most people keep in their inventories for the most amusing of reasons. The Tunguska. It shoots a heavy projectile that then explodes and deals no damage, giving even the 1 HP enemies time to run away from it. It sucks. The reason why most people keep it in their inventory is quite simple. You see, on the highest difficulty, the Borderlands 2 economy reaches Weimar Republic's levels of inflation, and firing a single shot with a rocket launcher can cost you the entire economy of a small nation. So since pearls sell for a lot, people use the Tunguska as a piggy bank worth 40 million. And there's something quite funny about getting a super rare drop and thinking, nice, now I can afford to use anything but that. The evidence against the pearls is very strong. With only 2 out of the 12 guns meeting the expectations of such a high rarity, things are looking grim. But it's even worse than you thought. Get ready for Exhibit Blue, Rares. So you know how I said all that about weapons getting stronger as they up with the rarities? Well, it only applies to the generic rares, because the unique ones, oh boy, they are some of the most powerful weapons in the game. Not only that either, rares for some incomprehensible reason have the most unique weapons out of any rarity. So you're probably wondering, why? Yeah, me too. I mean, sure, some of them are joke weapons like the Bane, which is literally cursed, but that still doesn't really explain the powerful ones, like the Pimpernel, which splits into 5 bullets on impact, or the Sandhawk, which is insanely powerful with shields still not appearing in this video. So what explains it then? Well, looking at the 3 examples I just gave, they all are mission rewards. So maybe no matter how powerful a weapon is, if it's a mission reward, it has to be a rare? Maybe. Wait a second though, can you only do quests once per playthrough? Yep, that's right, you can only complete quests once per playthrough, which means you can only get these extremely powerful guns once per playthrough, which, in a game where getting the right roll with the right parts is so important, is one of the choices of all time. But hey, thanks to Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, you can reset the quests to redo them, so that you can spend 200 hours farming that perfect lady fist. Or you can do something that would get you burned at the stake as a cheating witch in most other gaming communities, but something that is wholly accepted by the Borderlands 2 community. That being read-only farming. Basically putting your save file in read-only so the game can't autosave after you hand in a quest, allowing you to farm the rewards of said quest, and even allowing you to get multiple rewards from one quest by using the claptrap stash, since that saves even in read-only. But yeah, I guess I solved the mystery. Or I didn't, because there's still the most baffling unique rare of them all, the Grog Nozzle. The best weapon in the game. Not because it deals tons of damage or has some crazy bug, but simply because while you hold it, you get 65% lifesteal, meaning that 65% of the damage you deal is given back to you as health. And in a game where damage numbers scale way more than health does, that means full healing constantly. And that's basically necessary on the game's hardest difficulty. The reason why I say it's baffling isn't because of its power, however. It's because it's not something you can actually obtain. That's right, it's a mission item for one side quest in one of the game's DLCs. And once you turn in the quest, you lose access to it permanently. Which means that no one finishes that quest, because why would you? It's not worth losing access to the best gun in the game just to make Claptrap marginally happier. And while this is all ridiculous and serves to make the already weak pearls look even weaker by comparison, there is one unique rare that strips pearls of the last thing they supposedly have above all other rarity. That being their rarity, because the Cobra is the real rarest weapon in the game, with an abysmally low 0.045% chance of dropping from enemies in one specific area. It makes pearls look like Borderlands 3 legendaries by comparison. So pearls are neither the rarest nor the best, and yet they are presented as such. Meanwhile, the actual rarest and actual best rarity is presented as something that fills up loot pools and nothing else. The case is crystal clear. Though, I must admit I do like how unimportant rarity can be in Borderlands 2. Even if Borderlands 3's rarities are much more consistent, having most of everything as a legendary, seeing the inventories of late game characters filled with only yellow items feels more boring than the Borderlands 2 alternative. Even if it does mean that the rarity hierarchy is kind of screwed up. Wait, maybe I shouldn't have said all that if I wanted to win this lawsuit. Damn it, this is what I get for being too nice. I should have said that it's still not as good as Grim Dawn's rarity system, and now I missed out on a huge payday. So please, like, subscribe, and comment about how unjust it is that I don't get paid out millions of dollars for a problem I entirely made up.